Update. Am I the a-hole for threatening to divorce my wife if she doesn't discipline her son? Original post. I, 45 male, am married to my wife, 47 female. We both have teen sons from previous relationships. Her son Noah, 14, and my son Spencer, 15. Spencer's biological mom, my ex, is a deadbeat who doesn't pay her child support and hasn't spoken to Spencer in years, while Noah's biological dad is very involved in Noah's life and takes him every other week. Noah's dad also makes a fair bit more money than either me or my wife, and this leads to Noah having nicer things than Spencer. Example, Noah has a fairly new iPhone, while Spencer has an old model with a cracked screen. Noah's dad has promised to pay his way through college, while Spencer works 2 part-time jobs, by his choice, to start saving up, but will still probably have to take out loans. Most relevant to our current problem is that Spencer wears almost exclusively second-hand/thrifted clothes, while Noah's dad buys him department store or name brand clothes. Because of the difference in the way the 2 boys dress, Noah has taken to making fun of Spencer for looking like a hobo, like he crawled out of a gutter, and like trailer trash. Just nasty, unnecessary, and in my opinion, very classist insults. It's not like Spencer doesn't put effort into his appearance either. We just don't have the money to fill his closet with $30 t-shirts and $75 pairs of jeans. Now, Spencer has a bit of a temper, and the difference between his things and Noah's things is a sore spot. As a result, the boys have gotten into several shouting matches and one major physical altercation. Spencer is tall for his age, and Noah hit puberty late, so it was more of a beatdown than a fight, though no one went to the hospital. I've spoken to my wife multiple times about disciplining Noah, but she insists that he's just doing it to get a reaction out of Spencer, and the solution is for Spencer to stop falling for it, rather than any consequences or even a strong conversation for Noah. I may have accepted this if Noah was in elementary school, but he's a teenager, and a teenager needs to at least be told not to antagonize his stepbrother, who he knows has outbursts. I've tried to talk to Noah myself, but he just says, "You're not my dad. You can't tell me what to do." And yes, I have talked to Spencer about keeping his temper in check, but at this point, it's not his fault when he's constantly being demeaned for something he has no control over. After the aforementioned physical incident, I gave my wife an ultimatum: discipline Noah or I'm leaving. I told her that I couldn't keep my son in a home where he's constantly on edge because she refuses to parent her son. I told her that as a step-parent, I have little authority over Noah, so it's on her to set him straight. She asked me if I was seriously considering divorcing her over the way she parents her son, and I said yes. That this isn't about her, but about protecting my son from Noah's bullying. She told me I was being manipulative, and that threatening divorce over every little thing is abusive. I tried to explain that this isn't a little thing, and she just told me to give her a few days to think things over, and I agreed to give her a week before I would contact a lawyer. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. Noah's bullying Spencer, and your wife is ignoring her responsibility to raise a decent human being. Spencer deserves better, and as his father, you have a responsibility to protect him. I wouldn't want to be married to someone who thinks my son should just put up with being bullied by their kid, instead of teaching their kid not to be a bully. I wouldn't give her a week to think it over. What's to think over? She may be already talking to a lawyer, and meanwhile your kid is still dealing with constant BS that's taking a huge toll on his mental health. She doesn't care about your child. Not at all. Not the a-hole. Honestly, I'd start looking into lawyers now anyways. Maybe she'll say things will change, but I doubt they'll change for long. Or maybe it'll just change when you're around. She's blaming your son for being bullied and downplaying her son's actions. Not sure why you'd want to be with someone who'd even think that that kind of behavior is acceptable. Try to get your son some help for his anger issues, and take a look at things that you might qualify for due to having a lower income. Your son is working 2 jobs at 15. He's worried about what his future looks like. To be honest, I won't be surprised if Spencer has more success in life due to already being a hard-working kid, while Noah has been getting stuff given to him, and it seems that it's getting to his head. Wifey should step up. Otherwise, if OP doesn't divorce her and indeed Spencer is the most capable of both, she'll be crying that Spencer needs to help Noah, etc., etc. First update. First off, as per everyone's advice on my last post, I've gotten in contact with a divorce lawyer and have begun to draft papers. Whether or not they'll be filed remains to be seen. Second, I didn't think I'd be updating so soon, but there's been a major development, so here goes. Yesterday, Noah's father, who I'll be calling Mike, called me. We have each other's numbers, but we generally don't speak. So this was a surprise. The following is an approximation of our conversation. Me: "Hey Mike, what's up?" Mike: "Hey Opie, nothing much, but I'm calling about a fight our boys got into. Have you heard?" Me: "Oh yes, of course I heard. Thankfully neither are hurt bad." Mike: "Good, that's good to hear. Listen, from the way Noah tells the story, your boy, Spencer was it, attacked mine over some petty arguments over clothes. Now I know my boy can exaggerate, so I figured I'd call to get it from you." Me: "Yeah, well, now I don't mean to call Noah any kind of liar, but that's only half the story. See, lately your boy has taken to picking on mine because he can't afford to dress him in more expensive clothes. Now, I'm glad that Noah can have the clothes he wants thanks to you, but he's decided that makes him superior to Spencer. Noah called him a hobo, trailer trash, told him he looked like he crawled out of a gutter, and said he wouldn't be surprised if Spencer ends up on the street in 5 years. Mike: "Wait, really? Noah said that?" Me: "Yes, he did. Can't imagine where he learned to speak like that." Mike: "Not in my house, that's for sure. But continue." Me: "Right. Now my boy can have a temper and I'm working on that with him for sure. But Noah wouldn't listen when I told him to knock it off. There have been a few yelling fights, and then a couple days ago Noah just kept winding him up, and they were shouting at each other. And then Noah swung, and, well, the rest is history." Mike: "Wait, Noah swung first?" Me: "Yep, but the rest of the hits were Spencer's. I'll be honest, it wasn't a fair fight at all. Like I said, I'm just glad neither got hurt too bad. But let me be frank. Your boy's causing problems in my house, and he needs to stop before he gets put in the hospital. Could you talk to him about it?" Sherry won't, but our relationship is a whole nother deal." Mike: "Oh yeah, for sure I'll talk to him. And also, so long as no one goes to the hospital, feel free to let your boy set mine straight if you know what I mean. That's how I learned to stop being a mouthy little turd. Maybe a little schoolyard justice will do the same for him." Me: "Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'll pass your message to Spencer, but honestly, I'd prefer less violence in my house. Anyway, I've got to run." Mike: "All right, but let's keep communicating about this. I'm so disappointed in Noah, and I apologize that he's starting stuff with Spencer." Click. Anyway, Noah goes to Mike's place tomorrow, so hopefully his father can straighten him out. As for my relationship with my wife, I'll be having a serious sit-down with her soon. If we can't work things out, that lawyer of mine will come in handy. And yes, I did tell Spencer what Mike said about setting Noah straight, but made it clear that Spencer is not to start anything. But if Noah gets physical first, Spencer has my permission to shut him down. I'm pretty sure he's picking up the words from your wife. He's getting it from somewhere, and if it's not the dad, then it's the mom. You sure your wife likes your son? That's what I was thinking. I bet she's saying things to her son and he's repeating them. If she's not saying it directly, guarantee Noah's been overhearing conversations or eavesdropping and picking it up that way. Wouldn't shock me at all to find out Sherry is trashing Spencer behind his and Opie's backs. You're going to want to have a families meeting with everyone present, so Mike pronounces judgment in front of everyone. He said first is already at work here, and it's time to shut it down. Frankly, Mike should cut off the clothing allowance and take Noah to a thrift store and dress him exactly the way he's been tasking Spencer over. Precious little spending allowance either, so he can't hold that over him either, nor subvert the costuming edict. Sounds like Noah's doing this for attention. He probably is not handling his mom-and-dad relationship well. When he swing on someone, who knows who will get his kicked. Have they tried Noah to get in therapy? He probably sees how close your son are. Now maybe he is an a-hole, but sounds like he is really dealing with something he can't handle alone. Teenagers who never been in a fight see themselves as Chuck Norris, and nobody can kick their butt. Depending on how thick their brain is, it takes a few times to correct that belief. Now for the final update. So a couple of y'all suggested that Sherry and I have a family meeting with Mike and the boys, and I figured it was worth a try. I called Mike, and he said it was a great idea, but Sherry didn't want to, because her divorce from Mike was so chaotic, and she didn't want to make things awkward. It took some convincing, but she caved eventually. I won't go into the little details, but basically Mike and I tried to explain to Noah and Sherry what Noah had been doing was wrong and deserved punishment. But Sherry was being really stubborn, and it ended up with Mike deciding to take all of Noah's clothes away and gave him $100 to make his wardrobe for all of the coming school year, with it reduced down by $15 for each time he insulted Spencer. A moot point now, but he didn't know that at the time. Sherry was of course opposed, but there's not much she can do. Mike took Noah and left. Spencer got picked up by my mom, and then I got into it with Sherry. It started out as civil, talking about parenting philosophy and our different experiences with bullying and the like. She just wouldn't calm down though, and we had the biggest fight of our relationship. I admit, I was a bit at fault too for not backing down. What can I say? I'm one stubborn person. It was an hour-long screaming match. That was basically her defending Noah and saying he has a right to his words because he's smaller, younger, and because he had to go through his parents' messy divorce, and he has emotional trauma. I don't actually know if this is true, but to be frank, I don't care. I yelled back that Spencer's mom is a freaking deadbeat, so screw you and your excuses. In the end, it devolved into petty insults and ended with her throwing a lamp at me while screaming that she'd rather bang her coworker. And I ran out of the house and drove to my mom's place. Anyway, a couple days later, this somehow all got back to Mike, who invited me out for a drink. I obviously said yes, because I really needed one at that point. We got to talking about Sherry, and turns out, y'all were right about their divorce too. According to Mike, he left her because they got into a huge fight after he caught her poking holes in their condoms. She wanted another kid. He didn't, and she was trying to get her way with an oops baby. They didn't even have a prenup. She just managed to blow through all the money she got from him before I met her. So yeah, suffice to say, I'm glad I got myself snipped a while ago. I've filed the divorce papers and I'm devastated, but I know it's for the best. F my life. And thanks for listening to my ranting internet strangers. 2 weeks ago, I would never imagine it would come to this, but leaving her feels like a weight off my shoulders. Honestly, like I said, I'm just glad we don't have any kids together. This will be my last update. I'm gonna focus on screwing her over as bad as I can. Seriously, screw you, Sherry. Wow, I remember your first post. This took a turn, but this sounds like the healthiest outcome for you and your son. She and her son sound horrible. Mike seems like a good dude. Hope y'all stay friendly. That would be both hilarious and petty. If Mike keeps talking, I won't quit. You're right, he's a cool guy. And hey, folks on the last update were saying I should get with Mike after I leave Sherry. I obviously don't think I'll ever go down like that, but the notion gives me a chuckle at least. Before my bio dad and I had a falling out, my stepdad and bio dad were super close. And we joke, they understood each other because they both married her, pointing to my mom. They talked on the phone all the time to just shoot the shit. We all used to travel together, and when I was looking at colleges, every trip includes all three parents. When my bio dad visited to see me or work, he stayed in our extra bedroom. Just to save you and Mike keep talking, it's a funny way to explain how you know each other. Plus, a good example of non-toxicity before both boys. Best of luck to you and Spencer. Also to this Mike. You will probably need a restraining order and to video record every conversation with your soon-to-be toxic ex. Wow, talk about a shocking update. Holy heck, Sherry's off the rails. I loved Mike's response about the school wardrobe. That's another good dad right there. You both are raising your kids right. I see why he divorced Sherry as well. She plays dirty as heck. Damn. I agree that it's such a good thing you couldn't have children with her. What a nightmare that would have been. Ugh, your vasectomy paid off big time with this marriage. Anyway, glad to see you've got the attorney and divorce papers all lined up now. Go get her, Tiger. She can have her coworker and make their life miserable instead. I know you might not want to, but please do come back with any further updates because we're all invested now. I have a feeling this is just the beginning of drama. I'll bet she tries to get you to stop the divorce at some point, but we'll see. Take care, and tell Spencer we support him too. Last story. Am I the a-hole for lying about why I'm a single dad to someone? I, 25 male, am a single dad to my 5-year-old son and daughter. Their mom is alive, but left me, and I have full custody. Yesterday I had to buy groceries, so I had my kids next to me. An older guy was behind me in line and started asking me about them. I should have just said that I was watching them or something, but I told him that they're my kids. I don't look old at all, so of course he started judging me like people love doing. He ended up asking where their mom was, and I almost just sat at home or something. But I'm tired of being judged, so I made up a lie and said that their mom died. She might as well be dead to me. He looked horrified and mumbled something and walked away. Thankfully, my kids didn't know it was happening, so I finished and left. This morning, I was on the phone with my sister, and I told her about it. And she got mad at me and told me that I went too far, and I got a reaction out of him for no reason. I can understand that, but I'm really tired of being judged for being a young parent. But maybe my judgment is clouded. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. I was in Home Depot years ago looking for paint brushes. I happened to be wearing a shirt that read Naval Academy where my sister went. Out of nowhere, some dude walks up and starts trying to aggressively quiz me about what class I graduated in. Who did I know? Or was I just a tag chaser? I looked him in the eye and said, "My husband died in Afghanistan, but thanks for bringing it up." He turned bright pink and scurried away, while others in the aisle were glaring at him. I was in my early 20s and had never been married, and my sister is alive and well, but screw that dude. Oh geez, I grew up wearing a lot of my dad's hand-me-down workout stuff. Some said Air Force. It wasn't about tag chasing. It was about being poor and wearing clothes that fit. It isn't even pretending unless it's an actual uniform. I don't think anyone really considers the t-shirts and working out gear as uniforms. Glad you put that guy in his place. Not the a-hole. This happened to my husband. While the kids were boiling around his legs in a store, some old granny asked him where their mother was, and he said she's dead. And would you believe, all of the kids stopped their cavorting around and stood there looking sad. The little rascals. I was literally 20 feet away. Seems like you taught old dude a valuable lesson in minding his own damn business. And your sister is so wrong that she's a joke. I know it's not really the same, but I swear, kids and pets, no one to help us out. My ex was pulled over for speeding, really bad, about 20 over. The cop came to the window, asked why he was going so fast, and he apologized and said his dog was sick, and he was just trying to get home before she could puke in the car. No joke. The dog put on her biggest, saddest puppy dog eyes, had her ears back like she was sad or didn't feel good, slowly licked her lips like she was nauseous, and gave the cop an Emmy-worthy performance. Cop didn't even run anything, just petted the dog, talked to her like a baby, and told my ex to slow down, but to get her home. Lol.